Lucy. Mm-mm.
W
And now for our sponsor. Good morning, early birds. I realize that, it doesn't even matter. We had the volume off. Hello, surprise. I knew I was going to have to escape for un momento to get something because I got on, with our little music to start our day with. But I knew I was going to have forgotten something over here, and I did, which are my glasses. And as much as I might not need them today, let's button that dude up. As much as I might need them today for our class, I don't want to always be like this. Let's get started, shall we? We are on Grammar Week, right? You might be wondering what the difference is between phonics and grammar. We've been calling it Phonics Week. We've been calling it Grammar Week. What are we talking about? Well, when we're talking about phonics, we're talking about how to sound words out so that we can read, all right? So phonics helps us sound words out so that we can learn how to read. Grammar is how to make everything grammatically correct. Well, you've got to speak your language correctly, right? You have to have a verb as part of your sentence. In fact, that's what we're going to talk about maybe today. I don't think today. We are going to talk about that today. In fact, we're going to talk about it pretty early on. Sentence fragments. And so what do we need to make a complete sentence? I have ideas. Aren't all my ideas sentences? I don't have to think in my head grammatically correct, but I'm pretty sure I know what a sentence is. Yes, but we don't always think in complete sentences, and we don't always speak in complete sentences, but we should. And we need to write in complete sentences. It is imperative, it's critical, it's important for us to be able to communicate well, right? So in my head, I don't have to think in complete sentences because in my head, I'm not communicating with anybody but me. And I totally get me. Even when I'm a little, I still totally get me, right? So I don't have to speak in my head in complete sentences. But when I'm talking to somebody else, what is that going on there? When I'm talking to somebody else, if I want to communicate my ideas, right, which is why we talk, if I want to communicate my ideas, then I do need to speak in complete sentences. Now, I may be able to communicate my ideas to a really good friend in particular without speaking in complete sentences, right? I may be able to do that without fully, Lucy, out of there. Without fully speaking, honey, sit in your basket. Without fully speaking in complete sentences, because that person gets me and you get the gist, and I've got some body movements. So sometimes even communicating with you, I might not fully speak in complete sentences, right? But you're getting other ways that I communicate, so you're getting my idea. If I could see you, and I could see your face, then I would also know that you're getting it or you're not getting it, right? You might be like, right? So that sort of means you don't get it. You don't get what I'm saying, right? Very interesting, isn't it? All of this stuff. I'm just thinking about a lot of things. I'm thinking about these builders and the hard work that they're doing. And I'm thinking about all the hard work that people were doing during COVID too. I'm just thinking about, it was Labor Day weekend, and I just have been thinking a lot about such hard workers here in America. It's the workers that make this country, and it's not going to be the workers who destroy this country. The workers are doing what they're supposed to be doing, right? Yikes! This sun is, what is that look? Holy smokes. Hold on just a minute. We don't really probably need, but it's such a beautiful morning, and we are basically watching the sun rise here in Michigan. You are watching the sun rise here in Michigan with me, Dr. Feravich, here in the most beautiful classroom, right? There is no better classroom than the classroom that is outside, where we are learning right in our everyday lives, in the beauty of our everyday lives. There is no greater classroom. Okay, let's get started. Now that we've got our, oh, I hear the applause in my head. Let me finish my thought before I get all that applause going on in my head. When we write for one purpose, to communicate, right? Now, sometimes we're writing in quotes what somebody else said, so we're not using perfect grammar, right? We're not writing it correctly with all of the forms. I don't want to say grammar forms, right? And I don't want to say verb tenses, but with all of those things in our sentences as they are appropriate, they need to be there in writing. Unless we're quoting somebody who's not speaking grammatically correct, we need to make sure that we are grammatically correct in our writing. I literally am going to go get my sunglasses on because I don't really want to turn. I'm going to end up turning, and you're going to turn, and you're not, well, I guess I can turn a little bit. And then you're not going to see, all right. They've been there all morning. It's not that she's just discovering them. She's just discovering them. Okay, I'm turning a little bit to hopefully not have that sun straight in my eyes. It's going to be beating on my face, making me look like a little bit of a shiny, I don't even know what color that is. Wah, wah. Oh my gosh, I don't think I can stand to look at myself with that sun beating on my face. I can hear my dad right now. Yeah. Who knew he was so particular? That's a little bit. See, that's what I'm talking about. Who wants that as a background? I do not. I would rather have shiny, bright face than that house as a background. You get shiny, bright face. Could be worse. Could be gray, ashen face. Grandma. Lucy. We're all a little gray, aren't we? Okay, I have got to get my sunglasses so I could be just a little bit more Hollywood. And while I'm at it, I think I'm going to get my scarf because it's going to be 90 today. Let's get to it, though. I really am meaning to get to it. I'm going to put some stuff up here for you guys, okay? Okay? All right, Lucy. She wants to make sure everyone knows she's boss, even when she's in the house. We know you're boss. Not satisfied. She thinks I'm patronizing her now. All right, let's get to it. I think that's how we'll do it, right? No. so, am I getting my sunglasses? Yes, I am. I told you that already. Today we're going to talk about adjectives and adverbs. You can hear the sounds of construction in the background because I'm not turning the volume off. In case I forget to turn it back on. I'll be right back. You're going to sit in your basket or you sit inside. That's it. In your basket, I said. Lucy, in your basket. Inside. Nope, inside. Get in your basket. There you go. That's how I reprimand Lucy. Are in your basket, or you get inside. That was louder than I was. Okay, so I managed to get my glasses. And my sunglasses. That's a good story. I do actually have reading sunglasses over there, which wouldn't be a bad idea to go get, would it? But surprisingly, this is working. Stop. All right, so I'm not going to go through all this again. What I am going to tell you as I'm going through these is that you can see at the top there the day that I talked in detail about these topics. So linking verbs I talked about on day 60 or around there. Sometimes I introduce it and talk about it in more detail on the following day, like maybe day 61, or maybe even day 59 I talk about some of these things. So when you're getting a lot of detail, because this is a lot of information that you're seeing here. So with all this information, I did not present all of this only on day 60, but around day 60 is when I go into some of the details here. Now, we left off talking about participles, and the most important thing, because I didn't understand this. So when I was young, participles, and then it's like, perfect tenses. Why don't you say past tense? Because you're talking about participles. So I used to get really bothered by the fact I'm not going to look like a big goofball like that. Well, it's not comfortable. I don't know if I look like a goofball. So Like, for example, predicate. Why do they call it the complete subject and subject, but verb and complete predicate? That doesn't make any sense. Why are you calling past tense perfect? It's past perfect. Why aren't you calling it past tense? So there are some the best thing I can say is there are some idiosyncrasies. I'm getting bothered by a thought that keeps coming into my head, and it is about some information about a friend I found out about, and I just I don't have the whole story. So when I don't have the whole story, the thought keeps entering in my head. Does that ever happen to you? I'm sure it happens to everybody, and it happens to everybody because like I remember when I was in school, and it's like, oh, pay attention. What did the teacher just say? What was that again? So, see, and all those were incomplete sentences as well, right? So we can communicate, and I was kind of acting like a little girl in the classroom. Oh, yeah, pay attention, right? But those weren't complete sentences. Well, pay attention is. But we'll get to that, all right? We'll get to that, some of that. So, sometimes the language gets rather confusing. And when the language gets a little confusing, what I tried to do here was make it a little less confusing. Like, I didn't call it a complete verb. I called it a complete predicate because that's what it's called, all right? But here, for participles, I'm going to call these, in the way that we define these, as they are verb forms. That if I were to look at the word all by itself, such as running, if I were to look at the word all by itself, such as running, I would say that's a verb. But a wise person would say, well, it depends on how you use running in a sentence. What about running water? Is that a verb? Sally, you left on the running water. Sally is the subject. Left is the verb. I'm using this right off the top of my head. But running is not the verb there. Running is not the verb. Running is an adjective that describes the water. What kind of water was it? It was running water. Water is a what? Water is a noun, isn't it? Water is a noun. So an adjective describes a noun, running water. But if I showed you the word all by itself, you would say running is a verb. What are participles? Participles are one type of verb form. It's a verb form, all right? So, I didn't correct that slide, which I should have done. But it is from day 76 and not from day 77. So I suppose that's day 76 slide. I've got something in my eye that I'm trying to get out right now. I think I got it. Okay. So there are present participles, there are past participles, and there are future participles. Future participles have an auxiliary verb or a helping verb. Okay? All right. So present participle is running, and participles always have a helping verb. That's what makes it a participle. All right, guys, I have totally got something in my eye. I do this all the time, right? And I've got to get it out. So it's, oh geez, it is just so right there. So, oh, I think I got it. Yeah, I actually got it. Maybe not. Maybe there's a top. Maybe there's a top part to it too. Well, see, and that's why I don't wear makeup a lot of times, is because if I have to rub my eyes like this, forget about it. Makeup. Okay, so let's keep moving though. I don't have to pick my eyes in front of you. That I'm sure of. But I am going to go into the, oh, I have my eye drops here. I'm going to get some eye drops right here and see if that helps. Okay, so, gerunds. Now, see, I can't call it a participle, right? So, participles are verb forms. Verb forms that have a helping verb with it. Those are participles, all right? Another verb form is a gerund. Here I do have the word running. That's running. Tina's running has improved greatly, right? So, actually, running there is acting as a noun, right? Tina's running has improved. Let's get this Tom's Grill one accurate. Oh yeah, that is a noun. Tom was questioning his wife, but it looked like a grilling. It looked like a grilling. That is a noun. We can tell nouns often because they have what's called an article before it. An article. An article, a before grilling, is an article. That a before the word grilling, that is an article. When we have an article before a word, that indicates the next word is going to be a noun. We're going to talk about articles in just a minute. After studying, we took a break. Studying is a noun there. What did we do? We studied. It's a thing. Studying there is a thing. Can you tell what the subject and verb are? Do you know what the subject is and the verb is? Oh no, we've got a nice tune going on over there, which is fine. And after studying, we took a break. We could have said we took a break after studying. Couldn't we have? Can you tell me what the subject is in that sentence? Who's doing what? Who is doing what? We are doing the action in that sentence, right? We are doing the action. What did we do? We took. We took. Is took past, present, or future? The verb took, is that past, present, or future? That's past, isn't it? It happened in the past. We took a break. This is really a good time, again, to remind us of the fact that sometimes we have irregular verbs, don't we? And in those irregular verbs, we have to remember what the past tense is, and then if it's irregular, with the past participle. Let's see here. I wanted to see. Take is there. So take is all the way there in the third column, and they're in alphabetical order, so you can see take, took, and taken. So taken is a past participle. Participles need an auxiliary or helping verb, like was taken. And since it's past tense, it's got to be a past tense participle. It can't, well, let me think. Is taken. No, it has to be was taken. are taken. No, our taken, O-U-R, but not are taken. They are taking too long. No, you cannot say that. They are taking too long. No. Past participle, a participle is a verb form that needs, and it's a verb form that's an irregular verb form here, taken, that needs a helper. If it's a verb in the past, it needs a past helper. You can't say is taken. He is taking too long. No, that's is taking. Taking is present tense. That would be a present participle. Do you get it? Do you get it? He was, no, can't be he. I would say he was taken. No. Yes, he was taken to prison. He was taken to prison. Taken there is a past participle that needs a helper, was. Right? Okay? We're learning this. Don't be like, oh my gosh, I don't get it. We're learning this for the first time. You just learned about what participles are. Participles are a verb form that need a helping verb is what they need. Okay? Most of the time, we can say a past participle by making the helping verb past. He was running to the store when he tripped. Was running. Running seems like it's a present tense verb, doesn't it? Running is in the present, but the participle was is in the past. So was running is a past participle. Do you see? That's what we were talking about when we were talking about these participles here. So was running or had pulled. Pulled is a past tense, right? Had is a past tense. Had pulled the cord. But was running, he was running to the store. That's past, well, yeah, that's past tense. He was running, right? I am running to the store. That'd be present tense, right? So present participle, am running. What's changing there? Was running, are running, am running. What's changing there? The helping verb, the auxiliary. Running stayed the same. Is running, are running, was running, were running. Those are the helpers or the auxiliary verbs that get that running in the past tense, right? Now, sometimes it's not always easy. Why isn't it was taking, right? Oh, it can be. She was taking too long. But it's the past participle is taken, right? The past participle is taken. Why isn't the past participle taking? It's irregular. It's irregular. And that's how we get to learn these irregular verbs. Okay? So let's take a look at the middle column there. Creep, crept, and have, has, had, crept. That's the past participle. It would have been was, it would have, if it were a present participle, is creeping. If it were a present participle, it could be is creeping. Could be was creeping, right? Yeah, that's wrong. Past participle is creeping. Because it's not have crept. He was crept. No, it's creeping. Oh, so that is a mistake. I'm almost sure that's a mistake. I'm almost sure that's a mistake. Now, I am not a grammar major. I'm a psychologist, but I'm pretty good with grammar, and that's got to be a mistake. Because past participle, you don't use a helper, which is crept, was crept, have crept, he have crept along the road. No, it's creeping. That's wrong. Check it out. Look it up. You can make a correction down there. I'm pretty sure that's wrong there. Because a participle needs an auxiliary verb. An auxiliary verb is a helping verb, and that would be creeping. There's something there that's missing, and that's what the confusing part is. That's the perfect tense as opposed to the past perfect, or something like that. I was looking that up yesterday, and it was making, like, the terminology was making more sense, but that really is what the problem is the terminology. Sometimes that gets confusing, right? And so, as I've said, if you can diagram a sentence, when we're all done with all of this, if you can diagram a sentence, that's all you need to do. That's it. You can and not an easy sentence, a relatively common but slightly longer, maybe a high school sentence, right? Something like that. If you can diagram that sentence, that's all you need to do. Participles can be the most confusing, especially because they change the terminology. All right, let's keep going. So gerunds, you can see here, gerunds are nouns that end in ing. If I asked you, is running a verb or a noun, you would likely say it's a verb. However, we would need to know how it is being used in a sentence, because in these three examples, the ing word is a noun. Running is a noun. Grilling is a noun. Studying is a noun. All of those are things. Now, we've seen this several times, but now we're going to start getting into, I think we're getting into the I wanted to let you know that I'm still here, that what I was doing is reading that for a little bit to see what I had there. And no, we are not getting it. So this is where we did this yesterday again. So here we've got a participle, ing, right? Ing as a noun is called a gerund, but ing otherwise can be used differently as a verb. And as you can see here, it can be used as an adjective. The boiling water. Trying sister. Swimming suit. Talking with my sister can be trying, right? So my sister, it's describing my sister, trying. Boiling is describing water. Remember, adjectives describe a noun or a pronoun. Let's take a look at that. I wanted to see what I had next over there. For sure what I had next. I want to take a look at this. I've got, I downloaded a bunch of adjectives to kind of give you an idea of what adjectives do. So let me see here. Oh man, how am I not finding this? I know darn well I just had these adjectives downloaded. Well, it's taking a minute here to get to. That's not what I wanted. I'm just looking for this page that I recently downloaded. And I can't believe I can't find it. Wait a second, maybe it's here. Oh, I have it. I'm sorry. There it is. And this is from Twinkle. Sorry that took so long. What? What'd you say? It's still taking a lot longer than you thought it was going to? Yeah, for me too. There we go. These are some words that come from the website I've told you about before, so the website Twinkle, and they're calling these wow words. They are calling them wow words because what they do is, in describing a noun, what they do is they really make that word pop out. So it's a wow word, right? It's not just water, it's boiling water. It's not just red, it's bright red. It's not just a chair, it's a rocking chair. That's why they're calling these wow words, because adjectives really make nouns shine. So here are adjectives for people: adorable, adventurous, happy, helpful, important. Let me, obnoxious, talented, odd. For objects: bright, clear, drab, spotless, strange, valuable. For good feelings: brave, cheerful, eager, enthusiastic. Susie was enthusiastic. That is an adjective describing Susie. Pleasant. The weather was pleasant today. That is a word describing the weather. The weather was what? Pleasant. Good feelings, bad feelings. Confused, bewildered. It's not so bad to be confused. That's not a bad feeling. In fact, I don't think there are any bad feelings, right? Lonely, maybe lonely's a bad feeling. Maybe lonely is. Size: big, colossal, gigantic, huge. So we're not just always using the same third grade words. It was big. I remember it was really, really big, right? No, we can use some better words, can't we? It was mammoth. It was mighty. It was mini. It was immense. And then there's time. I always use antiquity, or antiquated is the word I use. It's antiquated. That means old or old-fashioned. Ancient, brief, early, short, slow, young. All of those words there are adjectives. And so adjectives, what do adjectives do? Adjectives, just like here in these, they describe nouns. Boiling water, trying sister, swimming suit. You can see the adjective doesn't have to come right before the noun either, right? That trying sister, trying doesn't come right before sister, but it could, but it doesn't have to. We're going to go here, and we're going to come back to the last slide tomorrow and get through some of these other things that we want to get through. I'm not sure if we're going to get to diagramming sentences. Maybe the next time we come back to grammar class, we will diagram sentences, but we will get in all of our grammar. So, can you throw me the yellow ball? That's telling me which ball. She needs to buy a narrow shoe. I didn't highlight that one. Narrow is describing what kind of shoe. A narrow shoe. I like my pizza crust crispy. The crust, what kind of crust? Pizza crust. You want your crust how? Crispy. Crust is the noun. So we know crispy is describing the crust, so that's an adjective. Pizza is describing the crust, so that's an adjective. You can see there that we can also have more than one adjective in our sentences, right? Now, what I want to show you is very quickly that I have some worksheets. So let me get whoa. I just had to, well, you know what I have to do. I have to find it. So here I have a worksheet for you that is about circling the adjectives. Let me show you one other worksheet that we also have for you as well, and that is complete sentences. Whoops, I don't want you to see the answers there. So we're going to come back here tomorrow and we're going to take a look at both of these worksheets. We're going to start with, are these sentence fragments or are they complete sentences? Okay? So we'll start there tomorrow. Remember, complete sentences have a subject, although sometimes I don't always see the subject, and a verb. If it has a subject and a verb, it's a complete sentence. So we're going to take a look at complete sentences tomorrow, and we are also going to take a look at these adjectives tomorrow as well. Okay? All right, so we are all set in Early Bird. We'll see how much grammar we get through. We are in no rush. Back to the sunglasses because the sun started coming out, and since I'm ending the show, I might as well end the show in my shades. So we are going to come back tomorrow, and we are going to work on those worksheets tomorrow. And if we don't get through, to be able to diagram sentences by the end of the week, we'll get to it the next time. Remember, we are not here to cram everything in like we are in a normal school, at a normal university, where we have to get everything in a semester. We worked all through the summer, didn't we? We worked over the whole summer, didn't we? But we worked really slowly, didn't we? We worked very slowly across the summer so that we can let things sink in. So talk to your parents about what you learned. Ask your parents to get you some worksheets, or whoever is helping you with whatever you do to get your help with learning. Right now, learning grammar in our classroom. Thanks for joining me. I'm the teacher, Dr. Annette Feravich. This has been